Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today for this workshop. As you can see, this is a sustainability workshop for emerging businesses. The agenda for today's workshop is first we will see what sustainability means. We are going to provide a definition as to what sustainability is, and then have a look at the importance of sustainability in general, and then move to the importance of sustainability, both environmental and social, in businesses. Then have a look at the case study of one of the emerging sustainability leaders, Unilever, and the sustainable strategies in their value chain. And finally, look into the ways in which we can incorporate sustainable practices in our business organizations. To start with, I would like to ask you, what does sustainability mean to you? When you hear of the word sustainability, what comes to your head? So feel free to jump in, unmute yourself, and let us know what you think.
If I speak, Saroshi, yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically what I was saying before, doing more with less, looking after, if we're focusing on the environment, it's doing more for less, thinking about what we're using today, but also for tomorrow as well and our future generations.
Yeah, right.
Thank you. Yeah. For me, just thinking about the word sustainable, it just means something that can last a long time. You're making something last longer. So that's what sustainability means to me on a very basic level.
Yeah, thank you for that. Okay. Moving on to defining sustainability. So the first time sustainable development or sustainability came into the picture, it actually dates back to over 30 years ago. It first appeared in Brundtland's report in 1987, and the report was also known as Our Common Future. So basically, this report was provided to the United Nations by a few countries. This was as a result of rising concerns as to increased emissions that resulted in increase in global temperature, as we know today by the term global warming. So the definition that was provided in the report states that sustainable development is the development that meets the need of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So expanding on this definition, I would say that sustainable development or sustainability basically incorporates three aspects of development, that is environmental health, social equity, and economic vitality, so as to ensure a longer term well-being. Now, having said that, I want to ask you that why are we talking about sustainability? Like, why is it important in general? Why do we care? Why should we care about this? Number one is there's an urgent need to address climate change. As we all know that the current situation is really worsening as per the latest IPCC report. The report mentions that climate change is widespread, rapid, and intensifying. Here, I would like to mention the Paris Agreement, which was an agreement that came into the picture in 2015. So this was adopted by 196 parties at United Nations, which had an international goal of restricting global temperature rise to 2 degrees Celsius pre-industrial levels, or preferably 1.5 degrees Celsius by 2050. However, as per the latest report, IPCC raises a concern that global warming is likely to reach 1.5 degrees Celsius between 2030 to 2052 if the current rate of emissions continues, thereby giving rise to global increase in temperature. Hence, there is a need of collective action at an international level, collective action from businesses, not-for-profits, individuals to restrict the global rise in temperature. Number two, there's a need to sustain human requirements. As we all know that there is an unprecedented global rise in population. However, the resources on the earth are limited. So with increase in population, the demand for resources also increase. However, we have to sustain the needs of human population, the needs of human. Hence, there is a need for a more sustainable development or to sustain human population. It also provides financial stability. So, for instance, if we are reducing or conserving fuel, it cuts fuel costs. Or if we are resorting to responsible resource consumption and recycling strategies, that also looks after our reduction in costs. Because of all these reasons, SDGs were adopted at an international level in 2015 by the United Nations. So the Sustainable Development Goals are global goals, which calls for a collective action at an international level from businesses, not-for-profits, individuals, governments, etc. So there are 17 goals, as you can see, which is for no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, responsible consumption and production of resources, reduced inequalities, etc. So this is why this was adopted by the United Nations and it has to be implemented by each country. Now, moving on to the importance of sustainability in businesses. Why should we consider sustainability in any organization? Number one, it improves business or an organization's reputation. So according to a study, people or consumers view sustainability as a plus. When they review any organization or they think of buying any product or services, they are more inclined to choosing those organizations which are more greener, because with time, everyone is growing conscious of the increasing environmental and social impact by any organization. And as for not-for-profits as well, since their values are already aligned with social well-being or environmental well-being, hence resorting to sustainability actually aligns with their already existing values, and hence it also improves their reputation in market or in a society between consumers, etc. It also builds service users' loyalty. So today's service users expect more transparency, honesty, and tangible global impact from companies, and can choose from a raft of sustainability, sustainable, competitively priced, and high quality services. So this is a way that you can gain their trust, and they will be more inclined towards choosing your organization if you are more inclined towards incorporating sustainability in your practices. It also reduces organizations' costs. So significant cost reductions can be realized by companies who incorporate sustainability as a result of effective management of water and energy and waste management. Here I would like to I'll like to show you an example of Nike. So they launched a program called Flyknit. So the Flyknit shoes basically use recycled polymers or reduce waste up to 80%. Now, after launching this program, they made more profit margins and as a result of 80% waste reduction. Because this program used lesser labor in their value chain, hence resulted in more efficient management of their resources, as well as making more profits out of this. Next, companies also experience an average internal rate of return of 27 to 80% if they invest on low carbon, for their low carbon investments. Here, Winston, do you want to add on to this point?
So when I came on board Dixon House about 4.5 years ago, all our enrollments, so we run programs, education programs, recreation, social programs, and all the enrollments were all done in paper. So everything was paper-based. The recruitment of volunteers, everything was on paper. So because I'm a bit of a tech geek, I like everything to be digitized. So we we set on a process of actually doing everything online and in the cloud. So all our enrollments now are on our website, so there's no paper handling at all. Even in terms of our volunteer recruitment, it's all through a process via our website, and use certain applications where the whole process is paperless. That has affected a lot of savings in paper and stationery costs for our organization. So that's just one example.
Another important thing to note is that it also attracts and engages employees. So according to Harvard Business Review, corporate sustainability initiatives can also make employees feel engaged to a broader cause. So for instance, they feel proud or more engaged in an initiative, and they are more efficient if we incorporate sustainability in our business practices and make them also accountable for that. Moving on to a case study of Unilever. So basic overview of Unilever is that it is a multinational company which is headquartered in London, and its products are mainly related to well-being and food, etc. In 2020, the global revenue generated was 50.7 billion euros, and as per a study, the study states that the company derives this advantage because they have put really a good effort in reducing their global footprint by resorting to sustainable practices and recycling strategies. The values that Unilever possess is mostly related to hygiene and well-being. They have always tried to make this commonplace. As per their ex-CEO, Paul Polman, ever since they included their Lifebuoy and Dove strategies to make hygiene more commonplace, these brands grew faster than the other brands that the company produces. Moreover, they launched Unilever Sustainable Living Plan in 2010, and ever since they had produced this plan, as you can see in the revenue generation graph, their revenue generated had increased. So from 2010, if you have a look at 2015 or 2016, there you can see a slight jump of their revenue generated, which was as a result of their sustainability brands, which sold faster. So the commitments that they have towards achieving their sustainability living plan is greater climate action. They are transitioning to completely renewable sources of energy in their entire value chain, and finding new or lower carbon ingredients. They are also aiming to achieve net zero emissions from their products by 2039. So net zero emissions basically mean, it doesn't mean that your company is not emitting anything. It means that if your company or organization is making greenhouse gas emissions, it is also having some carbon offset programs to compensate for the emissions. So it's kind of, it is compensating for the emissions, hence achieving net zero. So Unilever is investing in these sort of programs for reducing their carbon footprints. It is also committed to protection and regeneration of nature. For instance, they are resorting to zero deforestation in their supply chain mostly, and regeneration of nature, such as use of technologies and innovation for more sustainable agricultural practices to protect soils and reduce emissions, etc. They are also empowering farmers so that their supply chain is more sustainable and committed to zero deforestation. Water stewardship. They have significantly reduced water consumption in their manufacturing sites by recycling water, and they are also committed towards producing laundry products that are more biodegradable. They have also resorted to waste management strategies such as reduced plastic usage in their value chain, and they are also transitioning towards a circular economy. Hence, the outcome of their commitment is that they are contributing towards achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, as we discussed a few slides ago. So through their commitments, they have achieving and are still achieving SDG 12, 13, 14, 15, 6, and 5. And as a result of that, their company's growth has also significantly increased, as you can see in the graph. So their revenue generated from 2010 to 2016 was there's a significant difference between these 6 years. In 2017, their sustainable brands grew 46% faster than the rest of the business and delivered 70% of Unilever's turnover growth. Now, let's move on to how we can incorporate sustainability in our businesses. So first thing is that we need to establish a clear sustainability objective first. So as you can see in Unilever's case, they had a clear sustainability objective which was delivered through their sustainability plan, so that the staff and consumers, everyone knew what the company is aiming for. When you have a clear sustainability objective, the employees and staffs know that, okay, exactly what do we have to do to achieve the goal. And this makes your company more aligned to sustainable practices and help build your reputation as well. So number one is that we need to establish a very clear sustainability objective as to what we need to achieve. Next is sustainability reporting. So now in Australia, only ASX companies are required to report on their social or environmental impact. However, non-ASX listed companies or not-for-profits can also use or can also deliver sustainability reports as to what are the impacts of their organization. So this not only helps you build a good reputation among consumers or in the market that, okay, this organization is more transparent and honest with their impacts. It also helps you to record any issue that is arising in your organization right from the beginning. So for instance, my organization, it's a small scale company, and an issue arises such as there's a leakage in tap. And if I'm doing regular reporting as to my impacts and just auditing my organization, I would know that, okay, there's an issue of leakage in tap, and I can resolve the issue of water consumption or wastage of water right from the beginning. Hence, the impact will be like the negative impact can be resolved right from the start. There are various standards in ways in which you can report on your sustainability impacts, both environmental and social. GRI is a standard like Global Reporting Initiative. It's accepted globally. So you can use that. The link to the format is given in the slide.
Is that a form that that any one of us can download and use this this template?
I think this one, it is not a template. It is more of, okay, what should we reporting on, like
Right.
emissions and everything. Yeah.
Like a checklist, yeah.
Yeah, I can provide the link as well. Yeah. And finally, it's essential that we make a checklist as to monitor the electricity, water, gas bills, so that we know that, okay, how far are we aligned with the objective? Are there any wastage of electricity, gas, or water bills, or water? And then check if recycling strategies are followed in our value chain. For instance, we can check that are there minimum usage of paper or stationery. If we are using paper, if we start by asking ourselves, okay, do we need this paper in the first place? Can the message be delivered through emails? That could be one way of checking it. And if possible, then transition to renewable sources of energy. You can use Business Energy Savers Program. This is a program launched by Monash Council. it provides small scale businesses with funds to install renewable energy appliances, and they also do free audits or provides advice as to how you can be more sustainable with appliances and everything. So companies which have small scale companies or not-for-profits which have employees from 1 to 19 can apply for this. Here are the contact details. You can check with them if your organization is eligible and get yourself evaluated for the funds, etc.
Yeah. Just to update Sylvia from the Eastern Alliance for Greenhouse Action, that is part of the alliance of different councils in the Eastern metro area. They are promoting these rebates from the state government for small businesses and also for NGOs. So if you're an NGO between 1 to 19 employees, you may be eligible for some of these rebates. Well worthwhile contacting them to see what you can get access to.
Yeah, that brings us to the end of the presentation. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please feel free to jump in.